I can't get over this incredible story of this dad who has decided to say, you know what, society, I'm doing this for me, I'm doing this for the people who matter, and I'm doing this for my children. And he is so lucky. He has two beautiful boys, Jordan and Jasiri. Very beautiful names, by the way, Jeff. I can see what you did there. And now we've been joined by our expert of the day, Ngini, who is a counseling psychologist, and she would be giving us her thoughts on this societal norm in her own words. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Kindly introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like you've said, my name is Ngini Nasongo, a counseling psychologist. I work with Kenya Association of Professional Counselors.
Wow.
We are based here in Parklands, not very far from here.
Ah, nice.
Thank
Great.
you. Yeah.
So what do you think of Jeff's story in general? Like, what is your general outlook as a professional and as a woman? Yes.
First of all, I'm honestly humbled, extremely humbled.
Yeah.
And in very few words, you are just that change that the world needs.
Yes.
It's this demystifying, you know, the norm of, what people understand by the word masculinity. You understand?
Yes.
You just demystified that in very few words.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm so impressed. And by the way, children growing up with a father in the house is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
Something that has always been, underplayed or overlooked by many families, especially in the African society. Watoto ni wa mama, you know, like,
it's true.
the most a parent can do or a father can do is sire them, you know.
True.
Immediately the woman is pregnant, the father anakanyaga kubwa kubwa. You know, they say kanyaga kubwa kubwa and stay aside, you know.
Yes.
But he's fully involved.
Yes.
In fact, I would want to know where he comes from, because this is not normal.
It's
not
normal.
normal at all. I haven't come across this even in the many years I've been working as a psychologist.
Yes.
This is rare.
Right.
Just like he was saying, people would say amekaliwa. I don't know what kind of chapo. Ni ile imewekwa carrot ndani, imewekwa inaitwa nini, kitunguu. You know, all those.
Rachel must tell us.
The beauty is that the guy is aware of himself.
Yes.
He's doing these things deliberately. He's so conscious of what he's doing. He's so intentional.
Yes.
It's not like he was forced by circumstances.
No. In fact, if you heard, he said at age 12, he knew the kind of father he would be.
Yes.
Right. So obviously, earlier on, we were talking about that societal expectations. And, Jeff told us that he was almost going into depression. And again, I'm so happy to know that I'm not the only person coming across such a beautiful and inspiring story. I can imagine how many parents walk into your office and say, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling in that. And maybe I can give, Jeff an opportunity also to make a contribution towards that, So basically it's a message, which ideally we should end with it, but I just feel compelled to ask now, what would you tell that man who is out there, who sires, like we said, anakanyanga kubwa kubwa, because they always know there is no way they'll go, because they're not carrying that baby. You as a woman, you get stuck. What is that one thing you would say, guys, if only you knew, this is what happens when you stay with your kids, when you're present for your kids, because it's not even about being a stay-at-home dad, it's about being a present father, right? What would you tell them?
Wow. I will tell them that let not your immediate or current circumstance determine or rather define your long-term goals.
Yes.
You know,
because
what you think is horrible, like right now, probably you are unemployed or your family is strict one.
Right.
Changes over time.
Yeah.
And I've seen with my situation, when I was being a father the first time, things were horrible.
Yeah.
But as years go by, I've not only seen the impact that my decisions have made to my children, but my situation has also changed.
Right.
And it has changed in a roller coaster.
Right.
You know, it has been good, it has been bad, it has been good.
Right.
So don't let your current situation define your long-term goals.
That's amazing.
You know,
that's amazing.
Make those decisions.
For you and for your future and for your future people.
And know that people will talk, people will have their opinion, but it is only your opinion that matters.
I agree.
Yeah.
So Ngini.
Yes.
I don't know, is it Mrs. or Miss?
Miss.
Miss,
Yeah,
perfect.
thank you.
Miss Ngini. Again, as a counseling psychologist, maybe we can come down to the effects of parenting on children. I usually say proudly, I was brought up without a father. Did I have a father figure? Yes, much later in life, during very definitive years, which were my teenage years. And I think it's the same thing as Jeff when he moved in with his relatives. But what do you see often, especially when it comes to absent fatherhood in a child's life? So that's the first question, and also maybe you can draw for us a picture of the effect on a girl child and the effect on a boy child due to absent fatherhood. Yes.
Thank you very much, Maureen, on that. You know, we need to be aware of the fact that both parents matter in a child's development.
Yes.
Both physical and emotional.
Yes.
But many of us will say, I brought up my children the way I know how as a mother or even as a father, because we also have single parents.
Yes.
I mean fathers who bring up their child on their own. But you see, children believe in a father figure, for example.
Yes.
They see security in that.
Yes.
They look at a father as a disciplinarian, you know. They develop emotionally when the father is there, and they feel so proud of that. You know, they develop what we call self-esteem and proper adjustment in the society. And by the way, kids always believe the father is capable of doing everything.
He's the superhero.
And the father knows everything short of just being the Superman, you know. They know that. So in the absence of the father, there's so much harm. Okay, I'm a single parent. I brought up my son on my own. I have managed, but I know what is missing.
Exactly.
I know what is missing.
You know how to be a mom.
Precisely.
But you don't know how to be a dad.
I can't know how to be a father.
Right.
Okay, society will tell you, you know, take him to your uncles. What if I don't have uncles?
True.
Like in my case, I can't say I have. I don't have. So what do I do?
Right.
So we struggle, and this kid may have a lot of issues. Okay, coming back to your second question, what are the effects of a boy who grows up without their father? So many things. One, low self-esteem. Okay. Second is that they may want to outstep or overstep several developmental stages as a way of adaptation.
Right.
They mature very fast.
Yes.
You find them getting married at an earlier stage or age because they are trying to fill up.
To make up.
That gap. So that is one. Self-esteem iko chini because they don't know who to identify with. You know, initially when they are growing, they may not understand. But when we look at the psychological, psychosocial developmental stages of a child, around age 5, 6, they develop what we call for the girls, the Oedipus complex. They start getting attached to the parent of the opposite sex.
Oh, I see.
Okay. And for the girl, Electra complex, you start getting attached to the parent of the opposite sex. Now for the girl is the father.
Okay.
Where is this father?
Yes.
He's not there.
Okay.
So this father is the first boyfriend of this girl.
Yes.
So she learns so much by the way this man relates with people. So relationship for the girl starts from the father.
True.
Okay. Now in his absence, where does she get this?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now for the boy, okay, eventually as they grow, so many things happen in between which I'll not get into. So they start now trying to relate more with the parent of the same sex. So if it's the boy, the father now becomes the role model. But this man is not there. So what does this boy do? They find a way of coping with this. One, they'll pick any character out here to identify with. Now, in the absence of that again, it's very easy for this boy to get influenced by the environment.
Exactly.
So they'll get easily into drugs. Okay. They will easily get into very, very unbecoming behavior. Like for example, doing drugs, whatever it is. They'll become truant if they're in school. Always getting into trouble and stuff like that. That is the kind of person we are going to have. Okay? With the low self-esteem, they will become very violent as a way of covering that anger, the bitterness they have. So they are those macho, you know.
True.
But deep inside they're broken, they're hollow.
It's true. And I think it makes sense why, if you see the pattern of men who end up being, I don't know, this is a very different topic altogether, but we can talk of narcissism, psychological you can tell this person is not okay. Moral degradation, he's sleeping around with all these women.
Yes, promiscuity.
And you might think he's just this person, but the truth is he's trying to cover up for something. But again, this is a proud moment for me sitting with Jeff, because I can see something that happened. Again, depending on how you're brought up. So two things happen, and you can correct me, but this is from observation. You either decide to feed the loss or go to the opposite. For instance, he was like, I've not had a father, but I'm going to be the best dad I can be. And he knew that at a very young age. However, maybe I'll throw it back to you, Jeff, and say, have you struggled with anything in terms of your person? Because I know, again, this is something we spoke about, and you said, now I'm required to bring relatives, my uncles, to my family, and I can't get even in touch with my father's side. Do you feel like it has brought some sort of difficulties in the way you run your day-to-day activities?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely it does. I feel like for a period of a long time, I felt like my life had come to a standstill, because I wanted things to move, and the only way they could was bringing those people, you know, and there was nobody to fast track. You know, if you have a father, I've come to appreciate that if you have parents, it is whether they are poor or rich, it means a lot. You know, they can be at the forefront to lead for you a number of things. But without them, I've felt stuck for a long time.
It's true.
You know, and I've struggled by my own for a long time.
It's true.
And until I got to a point, if I didn't have in-laws that were very patient with me again, I don't think we'll be where we are today.
True.
You know, and I would have missed an opportunity. My children would have missed an opportunity, not because I was not willing to, but circumstances just didn't allow.
Exactly.
So that is one thing that I've struggled with.
Yes.
And still a work in progress. I've started connecting with them. Actually, for the first time, I took my whole family there. It was again me, my wife, my 2 boys, and my sister.
Wow.
And we went to my shags and saw my grandmother, and at least it kind of plugged me a bit back. And now they know, this guy is alive.
It's true.
You know, and he's gonna come back one day. And he was like, you need to build a house.
Yes.
You know? And I was like, I'm gonna build a house very soon. Let me go and
organize yourself.
myself.
Yes, and also your thoughts. And I think you're a very graceful man, because you can hear he could have chosen to feed the other beast, or rather the beast, and say, you know what, family is not for me, I don't know how to do it. But I think it's very courageous of you to say, you know what, look, the layers are so beautiful. Him dating his university sweetheart, doing the right thing by her, being a present dad, doing the right thing for even your in-laws and being accepted, and even doing whatever is coming up ahead and being very intentional. So I think here it's all about the happy ending of not losing hope just because you found yourself either as a single parent or even a child who doesn't have parents in that case. And maybe we can touch on that a bit with you, because I'm thinking, what can we encourage, especially single moms out there who can't stop hearing it? You know, like I'm a single mom raising 2 boys alone, and I keep saying I'm the best mother they have. But I do not know how to be a dad to them. I've been blessed to have male figures around me who have been pushing them and showing them how to be men. And again, like you said, there's no loss. You're raising, you know, a son, and you know how to do it best. But there's somebody out there who is in that state, maybe which Jeff was at one point, and I really applaud your courage in believing in yourself and saying, you know what, I believed in myself, this is what I'm gonna do, and it's for the benefit of my family. But then the reality on the ground is, and I've heard it, you're raising those boys, they're never gonna be men, you're going to bring up sissies, or why you do. In fact, the criticism is so much. Like I remember there's a time I braided my boy's hair, and I knew why I was doing that, because we were going to the coast and I knew I'll be washing sand, and I was like, there's a solution. Braid the hair, and it worked. But every time they're like, oh, why are you dressing them like that? Because they wore a pink t-shirt to match with mine. And I'm like, what is with these societal expectations of parents doing a certain thing? What if anything can happen? Nobody chooses to be a single parent. Nobody chooses to be brought up by lack of parents. But what is that encouragement you can tell that mother out there who is struggling to raise especially her sons or her daughters, or a dad who is all alone, or a child who thinks, I don't have a father, I'm not enough. I don't have a mother, I will never be okay. I'll never be a complete human being. What can you tell those people?
There's so much to tell them. But before I go there, I want us to know that even single parents bring up brilliant people.
Exactly.
Obama, for example.
Look at that.
Okay, you are the Obama we have close by.
Yeah.
Okay, you've defied the norms of society completely.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, and absence of parents. Sometimes, okay, in many situations, will make a child go either way, both extremes.
True.
Either extremely good or very defiant and rebellious. In fact, they become rebellious to the society.
True.
It's like, you are the cause of all these things I'm going through.
Yes.
So they become defiant, become all those bad things that the society calls, you know. But you can also choose another path, because again, life is about choices.
It's true.
What do I want for myself? Which he has done. He chose maybe the better, side, and here we are. Now, for the parents bringing up, children singly, it is possible.
True.
We can make it. It's the way you choose to have a meeting with your children and tell them, now look, ideally, a family should have a father and a mother. But who tells you that when a father is in the family, things are going to be good?
True. In fact, there's a flip side of that. You can have a father, but what if this father is violent? What if he's abusive? What if he's bringing more negativity than the positivity he should bring?
Or completely uninvolved.
Exactly.
You know? You are the mother, you are the one who knows where they're going to school, what they will eat, everything else about them, you know? But the father, the most he did, like I said initially, was to sire them. When he comes back to the house, he just sits down and watches TV. A client came and told me, you know what, I don't know what to do about my 10-year-old child. What has happened? He has decided he doesn't want to go to school. Why? Because he wants to be like his father, who just sits at home and watches TV.
Oh no.
Because that is what he's, you know, kids learn by observation.
They learn by observation, it's not what you tell them.
Yes. So this kid became a problem in school and everyone at home. So the mother was saying, what do I do? Okay, we are talking about a father being there. Is that the kind of father you want to have in the house?
Exactly. And let's be brutally honest. If the father was not there, this child would never even have to experience this.
So you have a meeting with your children and tell them, like, look, ideally, this is how it is supposed to be, but our situation is different. So how do we want to live from now onwards? Maybe they never saw that father. You know, at a certain age, I remember when my son was in class, was it class 2? He was here at Consolata Primary, and he would come home and say, you know, Mom, the teacher was talking about a single parent family. See what kind of family? Which one is ours?
Oh dear. It can break.
Which one
it
is
really
ours?
breaks her,
You know?
your heart.
And I said, what do you think it is? So he'd come and, you know, drawing those stick things, and he'd say, okay, I think ours is. So we are just the two of us, you and me. Where's Dad?
Oh dear.
It's you know, I had to sit him down because, you know, we say you talk to them in an age-appropriate language.
Absolutely.
And I would tell them, as much as Dad is supposed to be here, but he's not with us. Why? You know, they have a lot of why questions around that time. Why? You respond to that, and then another why, and then another one. So I made him understand. By and by, he grew up knowing that this guy is absent. Of course, he could make those episodic appearances, which I thought were very disturbing.
They're always disturbing.
And my son now was getting confused. So again, I sat these guys down and said, please, when do you want to see this child? And what do you think you are doing to him emotionally? I may not be responsible for anybody's emotional whatever, but let us see what we are doing to this child. So we agreed. You only see him this time, you take him and be with him and tell him also why you're not with us. Although some of them want to say negative things to this child and make you look like you're the bad one.
I agree.
So in short, what I'm saying is, let's talk to our children. Let them also learn that society expects this, but our situation is unique and different, and that does not make us bad. We are still okay.
Absolutely.
And it's still okay for us to be the way we are.
Yes.
And we can also become better if, and only if and when we choose that path.
Yes. Wow. That
also,
is
also
so
just
profound.
Wanted to speak to the parents who have who are both involved.
Yes.
To be sensitive
Absolutely.
to the single parents.
Yes.
You know, and train their kids to know that, you know what, Kinanani are not this way, but that doesn't mean that they are different.
Exactly.
Yeah, their situation is just unique.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
True.
I think if we went on and on and on, we would never finish. So there's been so much wisdom. Again, Jeff, applaud to you. Thank you for setting this example. And indeed, like you know, we've said on this episode, he's the change that the world needs.
Yes.
And I'm honestly very honored to be interviewing you about this amazing topic, which is also very close to my heart. Thank you so much for also joining us with your wisdom.
Thank you.
I feel so bad we have such limited time, but you have great wisdom, and it's good to know that the whole message today is, it's okay, forget about the society, what is working for you, how do you equip yourself to be so positive, such that you're responsible for yourself, for your partner, for your kids, and also the future generations to come. So we are so happy to have you on tonight's episode, and thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you.
Wow, just like anything good, everything has an end. In an ideal world, they say, what a man can do, a woman can do better. But today, I think things are different, because what a mother can do, a father can even do it better in this aspect, by being present, not just by provision, but by being the security that the kids need. That is protection, by knowing that they can look up to their father. That is profession. Basically, kids see this figure, because we use father figure. Not everyone has the privilege of knowing who their father is. But what about an intentional father? How about more intentional fathers? It's a very rewarding journey. The kids grow up so fast, and before you know it, they're out and they're gone. We can change the narrative. With the upcoming Father's Day, I hope this month can be full of sensitivity towards present fatherhood, and we are really, really proud to hear from a natural father in the 21st century in Kenya. When I say that, I mean in the African society, from a tribe he never told us, because maybe some of you will be asking, where can we get one like that? But anyway, it's about being intentional. When you meet your partner, ask them, what kind of a parent do you want to be? Because there are also absent mothers. Maybe they're not so many, maybe they are not talked about, but there's no shame in parenting how you want to parent. Thank you so much, Tomoka, for letting us be here in your beautiful facilities. Thank you, Fashion Clinic, for dressing me. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Ngini. I am struggling because I'm saying Ngina. I know Ngina. Miss Ngini, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. This doesn't end here. We'll still continue the conversation.
Sure.
And I hope we can have you more on board. Yes? Great. Do have a good night. Again, before we even go, thank you, crew. Thank you, my super producer, Sarah. Thank you for everybody behind this setup. Thank you for the Y254 team and the Nest team. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to actually talk about things that matter, and in this case, parenting, whichever way you want to take it. Until next time, have a good night.